Hi, Tim Sells here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about people who say, I can't do because blank. In this series of videos, I'm talking about what prevents somebody from joining or doing network marketing, right? And so in this one, it is the person who can't do something because of something, all right? So we typically call that an excuse. But you're going to hear it, and it kind of like is perpetual. And so it's, I can't do it because the kids are in school. I can't do it because the kids are out of school. I'll do it after football season. I can't do it because the upline blah. The upline didn't do blah. The upline did blah. The company didn't do something, or the company did something, or the customer did something, and the customer didn't do something. When there's a local meeting in my area, I'll do it. Well, it's too saturated now. In other words, it never ends. All right, it just keeps on. And it's because this person has this idea that they can't because. Okay? And so I'm not saying that they can't join. I'm not saying that they can't do something. What I'm saying is that you will just hear it to where they always have to have something handed to them. It's that, okay, so write a report. Okay, well, I would if I had a piece of paper. I would if I had a pen. I would if I had a flat surface. I would if right? So they always need something, right? So this is, could get in trouble for this, but it's prima donna attitude, right? And this is kind of what we used to talk about in Spec Ops. And it was the person who just always needed something, like, what do you want next? Us to wash your toes? That was kind of the phrase that the guys in the military would say. So if I had something to sell, if I had leads that convert, a video that does the selling for me, the script to invite prospects to watch the video for the product sales and for recruiting, the email follow-up series. In other words, if all of this was done for me, then I could do it. But I'm going to tell you they still won't. Right? That's been my experience. Something that works every time is what they want, and I will tell you that it doesn't exist. Customers and reps have different needs. Okay? So if you did do a video that could work every time, then it would be too long and nobody would watch it. And so they're going to say, if I had a shorter video. I know this one all too well because I talk to a lot of prospects. And out of a lot of prospects, I hear what's blocking that person. Okay, so once you've, let's say, talked to 5,000 people, that's a big survey, right? And so, every time you talk to a prospect, you learn something, I hope, right? Because that in jiu-jitsu, it's every match you win or you learn, one or the other. And even when you win, you learn if you're paying attention. And so as you accumulate all of these things, and if somebody wants me to write one video, I'm in trouble, right? Like I've got too much experience in it to write one video that's going to cause everybody to convert. And that's the reason that I think I've now written 52 videos on network marketing power here. Why? Because different people have these different things that they're focused on, that they're concerned with, that blocks them. So you're not going to ever get a video that's going to just convert every single person, right? And then the way that I view all of it in the pipeline when I'm talking to prospects is that my view is I just solve problems. Okay? Some problems are too much for me. I can't solve that particular problem for a person, and so I just move on. And I'm just so light about it because I'm not trying to change somebody. If somebody wants, let's say that somebody wants this thing out here. This is just a phone. I'm not talking about that. If somebody wants this thing out here, they want to be able to, work from home, let's say. But they have this block in front of them, and like this would be a block. This would be one of those things where the person has this, I have to have this before I could do that. A lot of times in school, you're told exactly and only what to do. And a person gets in the habit of that to where they themselves are only capable of doing one thing. They're not able to actually carry out a project. They carry out one order, not a project, not like a big goal. And so you have to break it down for them. And a lot of times in the training arena, that's where you find it in the pipeline. They're like, okay, so where do I get my leads? And I say, okay, well, this is a process. And so I will say, number one, there could be some leads on your phone. Number two is that you could purchase leads. You could do postcards. You could run advertisements and all that thing. Well, what does the ad say? And so they begin to, these are orders, right? In other words, the person, and yes, they should ask for these things. But at some point, that person is going to have to take over, because even an advertisement that works today may not work 6 months from now or 3 months from now. All right? There is ad fatigue, and you have to constantly change them up. And so that's the reason there's always going to be a need for salespeople, is because that's one of those things. So, what the real thing that I want my audience to be listening for is this. People want the outcome of money without the journey. All right? So people like this, okay? They're looking for the money without the journey, and I've actually just never seen it. All right? The reason that I could go and build a business, retire for 18 years, come back and do it again was because of my journey before. That I knew the journey. I knew what the journey was. Even though in the first time, I was running advertisements in newspapers, and I was using fax machines and, trainings I would mail out in a big, like manila folder, instead of us being able to just send a Word document around the internet. Things like that. So I had to create a new journey, but I knew what the journey was going to be. I would have to lay out the pipeline. I'd have to train people on the pipeline and each column of the pipeline and things like that. So the journey, I assure you, is a whole lot more valuable than the money. Okay, because I can recreate that anytime I want in pretty much any business I could. And that's what you really want. And it's hard to get across to somebody who is the prima donna who wants everything done for them, because they're missing out on the journey. Right? So what I try to do is just walk them through a bit of this conversation that you just heard here. And so if you like this video, comment down below. If you haven't subscribed, you might think about doing so. And thanks for watching.